I'm Shelley from Shelley Skincare, and I have Cassie Belcher here from Atelier Emmanuel Salon and Spa in San Francisco. And we had a lot of questions about what are we going to do about our hair during this whole shelter in place business. So Cassie graciously said that she would teach us how to do bang trimming today. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to go back to my other YouTube videos, but we did hair braiding last weekend. We did should you color your hair? And if so, here are some great tips. And is that all we've done so far, Cassie?
That's all we've done so far, Shelley.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to let you take it away and please help us. I've got some tools here and I'm not going to do mine right now because I want to focus on what you're saying, but hopefully you guys got all of the tools off of my website because I put together a nice little list of things on my shop Amazon store for you. So let's take it away, Cassie.
All right, it's bang time. So I have a friend, just very long bangs, like most of you right now, and a lot of people are gracious enough. They're like, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna try to put sharp objects around my face. I applaud all of you guys. If some of you are trying to reach out for some control and some autonomy over your own hair and body, fine. We're gonna learn how to cut some bangs today, but I want to give you guys a few pieces of information before we dive right in. The most common mistake that people make when either creating bangs on themselves or cutting their own bangs is they end up too short. And that's simply because of how our hairline reacts all the time. Most people want to gather all of the hair and pull it down very straight and very taut and cut. Tension's good, but too much, all of this comes forward. You're smashing down the personality of your natural hairline. And once you cut it, boom, they're going to fly back up and be 2 inches long. So when attempting this at home, make sure that you're using a comb to hold the hair and not your fingers. It's the easiest way to control tension so you don't get your bangs too short. And honestly, err on the side of them being too long first. You can always take them shorter, but you can't pick the hair up off the floor and glue it back to your head. That being said, there are a couple different types of bang styles that everyone wears. Some people do wear their bangs straight down, like my friend here. Some people wear them to where they're long, but they open, and that's fine. And if your bangs are starting to get to that length, that's okay. Start to part them and teach them to go in this direction. A quick blow dry will help you out with that. And then you have, let's take her head off. Very cute curtain bangs to the side that are very, very fashionable right now. You might want to take up the middle a little bit so it's not hanging your eyes, but leaving this side long actually frames the face quite nicely. We're seeing that as a trend right now. So we'll start there. If your bangs are long enough that you're considering a curtain bang, you might need a friend for this because they do need to stand to the side of you. Holding the hair up and cutting into it yourself might be a little difficult. But all you need to do to trim the center is take your comb and your scissors, and when you're using scissors like this, if you've gotten them off of Amazon, they look like this. You're going to put your ring finger inside the hole. Then your pinky will rest out here on this little rest. Your thumb only will operate the scissor, and then the other fingers are just used for counterbalance so that the blade stays straight. You want this blade to stay straight right here, that blade to move. So you might need to practice this a little bit before you go chopping on your own hair. That being said, to create a curtain bang, all you need to do is take the very center, I would say inch, a half an inch from either side of your part line. And these bangs will need to sit with a center part. They cannot sit with a side part. They look a little funny. So once we have our inch, you'll have your partner, your friend. You can try it yourself, but I can't imagine it will go well. And you want to pull the hair straight off the head, just like that. You don't want to push it to one side or this side will be longer. If you pull it toward you, that side will be longer because this hair has further to travel. So we're going to pick it up straight off the head. And that's where you'll notice all of the hairs are going like this, right off the head. There's no waves in them. There's no bends in them. They're straight off the head. And I'd say we take close to an inch off. See what happens. She'll have short bangs by the time this is over anyway. Do it one more time. And that's going to leave it fairly blunt. So the next thing can be quite tricky. You want to leave a little over 1.5 inches outside of your fingers. You're going to take your scissor and you're going to put it straight into the hair and cut. Don't cut your finger, so hover it above your finger. This is going to soften the line and allow it to blend a little more. And then once they open up, they'll be a little shorter to the center. We can already see that happening. You can actually see her nose now. Mm-hmm. And you have a curtain bang. Let me pick her up again. That is shorter to the middle and longer to the outside.
Nice.
So that's pretty
really nice.
It'll look really cute with your little buns that you're wearing all the time, all that.
What lipstick color is she wearing right now?
Hard to tell. Something a little mauvey. Whatever comes with her naturally. Okay. A side bang. Side bangs are created to go from short to long with a side part. What you would do in that case is you'll isolate your bang on your side part, be it one side or the other. Say she typically sweeps in this direction. To cut your side bang shorter, you're going to take all of the hair to the opposite side of the face than where your side bangs live naturally. Then, with your comb, we're going to try to mimic this as if you were doing it. You'll take your comb, push it all the way over and down. You'll have hair to cut right here. Make sure your comb is flat and parallel to the floor, and then put your scissors under and cut. Since this had the longest distance to travel, when it comes back in this direction, this piece will be short and this piece will be long. Easy peasy. If it then feels too blunt, find a friend, pick it up, and point cut through it once again. Okay. Pretty simple. Now I'm going to bring the camera closer for this next one because this is for your straight across ladies out there. There we go. Scissors, comb. Start in the center. We're going to take a little bit of her hair back now on both sides. Gather all of your bangs and put them in the comb and make sure the comb is parallel to the floor like this. The tricky part for all of you guys is going to be actually working on yourself while looking in a mirror because everything is going to be backwards.
Right.
So take a deep breath. Keep yourself from sweating too much.
I'm scared.
Take a deep breath. Listen, I had bangs for a very long time. I'm the queen of at home. Okay. Gather. Comb. And I would say use the fine teeth instead of the wide teeth. Now she's parallel to the floor. Yeah.
Okay.
Then lift them out so you don't cut your nose. And see if I can do this. Now you might need to do this a couple times because the comb is going to want to float down. Yep.
Okay.
Ta-da. Now they're straight, right?
Yeah.
Mostly. This is why I say if some of you guys are gracious, wait for your stylist. Okay. Now that that's done, get her a little toot toot. These are pretty blunt. The other way to soften instead of lifting, because that will add a little bit of layer and bevel, is to put the hair in, and cut this way.
Oh, okay.
That will soften the bang so it's not so harsh and such a straight line. And do that as many times as you feel like you need to by just scooping your bangs, getting your comb level to the floor, and going right in just like that.
Okay.
Until they're as soft as you want them. I think that's pretty good.
I think that's really good.
So if you have a friend that can do all this for you, they can watch this video and figure out how to stand to the side. You always want the bang longer to the outside. So grabbing it and bringing it all to the center, we'll leave it longer out here and then just soften it out. Same thing to the other side. Bring her over to the center, lift it up, and make tiny little dashes inside that line. So it looks, here we go, like this.
Okay.
Cool?
Mm-hmm. I have a question. So I've been having to cut my husband's hair, and I mean, I did go to hair school, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm going to rewatch this and take some notes.
Mhm.
But if I'm going up here on a man's forehead and a man's hairline,
Yeah.
and his hair doesn't flip backwards until it's too long. Like when it's too
Okay.
long, we call it the flip. But
Uh-huh.
if we go straight, like how would I go if his hair just kind of sits going towards, it's not like forward like Caesar, like a Caesar haircut, but
Mhm.
I don't even know how to describe it. But how would you just trim a man's hairline up here?
Say using the same concept of standing to the side and lifting it off the head, because then you also add texture and layer to it, so it's not super blunt right here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is going to be a very long version of it, but standing to the side and working in tiny little sections, rest your hand on his head
Mm-hmm.
and then lift out. So then you're braced here. You have very good control.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing one cut across and then point cutting into it, because that will give it a softness once you get it to the length you want. Typically, when I'm cutting men's hair that does tend to lay down in the front a little bit, I actually just put myself to the front, hold it in my fingers, and this is going to seem a little silly with her long hair. I hold it against the forehead with my fingers like this. So then I have a little bit of an elevation here and then cut straight across.
Okay.
Then I can see where it wants to be, and then I'll muss it up, I'll pull it up, I'll see where it wants to live naturally and kind of go with it from there. She's got cute bangs now.
She does. Now, someone's asking, do you always measure it out at least an inch or so?
Oh, for the point cutting?
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how soft you want the line to be. If you have too little hair in between your finger and the scissor, you're more likely to cut your finger.
Okay.
So at least staying an inch to an inch and a half away. So keeping the fingers protected by having enough hair to cut through every time
Mm-hmm.
saves you injury when it comes to, let's do it this way, like this.
Okay.
So you want to make sure you stay parallel to the hair strand and make sure you're working with about an inch or so, because that will give you enough softness without making them too wispy.
Okay.
And at the same time protecting your fingers. Now, what I will say about that is when you're opening and closing the scissor, open and close it inside the hair and then move it. Don't close while you're pulling the scissor out.
Okay.
If you close while pulling the scissor out, you're more likely to cut yourself like all the way across your finger like that.
Ouch.
So with the hair, you want to go in, open, close, move.
Okay. She got it.
Yeah. So that makes it a little safer all the way around.
Okay. Also, she was asking about a bob. Would a bob be a good idea to try on yourself while
No.
you're... No.
No, and I'll show you why right now. You're going to cut everything that's in the front like that. And then you're going to start pulling hair up to meet it. which this doll has, right? I did this purposely.
Okay.
So then when it goes to the back, it is no longer a bob. It's short. And then she kind of has this long tail in the back where the shape in the back looks nice.
Uh-huh.
But as you look at it from the side, it's going back for no reason other than you had to pull the hair around here to cut it.
Okay.
And then when the hair goes back to where it lives, since it had to travel, it's longer in the back than it is in the front and no longer a bob.
Okay. I mean, right now we're just trying to like survive at home with our hair.
Right.
So,
This is not to take the place of your hairdresser. This is not to teach you how to become everyone's favorite bathroom hairdresser like I was for a million years. What this is to teach you and give you some autonomy and control over the one thing you can control in your life right now, because we're not allowed to do a lot of things.
right.
And when we're not allowed to do a lot of things, we start experimenting on ourselves.
Exactly.
And then we start cutting bangs, we start changing our hair colors. My clients have been having a lot of fun with those overtone conditioners, and they're having a really good time with it. And they're reaching out and asking those questions and having that good, open and honest feedback. If you have questions about your hair, reach out to your hairdressers. We want to talk hair. We're sad. We want to talk hair. It's what we do. But I really wouldn't try the bob thing. If you're feeling like you have a few split ends and they just drive you absolutely crazy, there is a product that Aveda makes. It is called Split End Repair. Okay. It's in their damage remedy line. Okay. I can send Shelley a link and she can post it. Okay. It is a split end sealer. So what it does is you put it in dry hair, you work it through all the way through those ends that are bothering you, and it lasts 3 to 5 washes. But after those 5 washes, it does rinse very cleanly from the hair. You do not have product buildup, and it's all natural products because we know Aveda doesn't mess around with things like that. Right. So it's a product that I trust coming from the Aveda world. It's a product that I've already told a lot of my clients to purchase if they truly feel like those split ends are bothering them. My split ends are bonkers. I don't care. I will wait. I'll put it on a ponytail, throw it up in a funny bun. I'm not seeing anyone but my husband, and he's seen me at my worst, and I'm clearly not there yet. So.
Well, okay, so I did want to ask, okay, so I did get the scissors with the edge thing for my finger, but then I also have these scissors that are called, what are they called? Thinning shears?
Yeah.
So is there a reason why anybody would want a pair of thinning shears for themselves?
They're very tricky and can be very dangerous when wielded in the wrong hands. So those are meant to remove bulk from the hair. And in amateur hands, they can make a mess quickly because what they do is they cut hair in intervals that are set by the teeth. Mm-hmm. So imagine with this comb, if those were sharp blades and they went through hair, anywhere there's a space, they're going to make a cut, essentially putting another new line in your hair, but not one like a bang, one that just sits in your hair and makes it look frizzy.
Okay.
So these are scissors that they're honestly pretty contentious even in the hair world. There are many, many hairdressers that won't touch them. They don't use them. They'll remove bulk using a razor or using just their scissors and other methods that they've learned because they know that these scissors can be nightmarish quick. I use them in the salon to blend very short men's cuts over comb, meaning I use a comb and a scissor so I have protection, and I only use them to blend up and down in this direction when I'm cutting very, very short hair, like hair to the scalp, because it does help remove any weight lines. But I wouldn't recommend anyone just getting them and going willy-nilly on their hair because they could do a lot of damage quickly.
Okay. Another question I have, and I'm going to just double check to see because I feel like I got something else here, but I will ask my question in the meantime. I have these trimmers, mm-hmm. and there are these teeth things here. Yep. And if you click this little button one way or the other, something happens. So if I push it backwards, the teeth, like this one part down here, lowers. so that these teeth are more exposed. And then if I pull it forwards, the teeth become shorter. So when would I use this setting, this short setting?
I would say when tailoring around hairline, so cleaning up around the ears and down the neckline more than anything else. That type of clipper, a lot of is used in the barbering side of our industry to create different lengths when using guards or no guard. So guards most of the time are every
This is a guard.
quarter. Yeah, they leave lengths every quarter to half inch based on what number they are from 0 to 8.
Okay.
0 meaning skin, and 8, let's see, 4 is a half an inch. So 8 being a full inch of hair left when running a clipper through hair.
I think I have that right here.
Yeah. So that one has big giant teeth. It leaves a lot of hair, and it only cuts what is picked up from that kind of round body of it. Okay. So the adjuster allows the clipper to be more open or more closed inside the restriction of that guard to allow like a half step in between. A lot of barbers are so sensitive, they can get, between 6 to 7, sometimes 8 little positions out of just moving that up and down. So it's a pretty sensitive thing. That's not a clipper I work with. I don't work with clippers a lot, to be honest. Most everyone in our salon works and tailors men's or short haircuts, scissor over comb. Clipper over comb if we really need to get a lot of hair off fast before we then begin to tailor the haircut. So I'm not super knowledgeable. I know what I know from teaching barbering, but I haven't worked with clippers like that. I wasn't taught with clippers like that. My clippers are stationary, meaning the blade itself is the guard, and I have to change the blades off, not clip guards on.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's a very different beast, that one.
So I do have a question from someone, and I'm not sure if you can answer it or not, but she has boys, all boys.
Okay.
I think under the age of 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh.
And their hair is going crazy right now. So she's wondering, like, do you have any tips on quick mom clipper cuts?
You know who would be great?
Who?
Get my mother-in-law on the phone.
Your mother? Your mother-in-law?
My husband's uncle was a barber.
Oh,
and
nice.
My mother-in-law raised 2 boys. And she still cuts my father-in-law's hair to this day. It's cute. She has her little skills that she knows how to do. She would be the one. I wouldn't say my husband. His haircuts were always interesting and out of his way, and saved her some money when she was raising boys, especially as they started eating her out of house and home. So it just depends on how long their hair is getting. I would say that this would have to be a complete different video than what we're working with now. You can use the bang trimming capabilities if the front of their hair is getting a little long, and use those same concepts out to the side of their hair to kind of soften and everything. But I would say if their hair is still short, you can use the clipper just to touch off their sideburns straight and then trace the clipper around their ear, not too high, just literally right around their ear, and then down the back hairline. When you get to the hairline, you're going to want to flip the clipper so that you're kind of making a little stamping motion, but do not push. If you push the clipper, it's going to bite the skin and cut, and that's very uncomfortable, and it kind of causes a little bit of a rash. So just tap it to the skin, and you'll be able to create a line, and you'll be able to go across the back of the hairline the same way and up the other side and around the ear. Using a comb to kind of hold the hair away and using the clipper across this way also can help take out some length. The tricky part is having the eye to know where to set the length every time as you're going across and how to pick it up and work it again. That's a tough one, especially being a mom of all boys. I hope it helps. We definitely have to do a different video when it comes to cutting men's hair.
She has her 4th boy on the way.
Hey, I've got a cousin with 4 boys.
Oh my gosh.
They kept trying for a girl. Not in the cards. Not in the cards.
My gosh. Well, okay. I guess I'm looking and I don't have any more questions. So let me just double check. Okay, I think we're good. So
Yeah, I'm so
yeah,
excited we had questions this time. That's great.
yeah. Okay, so we can wrap it up today. But Cassie, I just want to thank you so much for getting on here with me
Absolutely.
again and going over all this with us. Like,
No
it's so
problem.
helpful. We just need to support each other during this whole crazy time.
In any way we can.
Yeah. And hopefully everybody will go, visit San Francisco, come to your salon. It's Atelier Emmanuel Salon and Spa in San
No
Francisco. And
spa anymore. It's
oh,
just here. There's no spa anymore. It was spa when you worked there.
yes, yes, that's
It
right.
was spa because of you, Shelley.
Oh, yes. Oh, because of me. But okay, everybody, you can check out the description box below. I will post things that Cassie talked about today. I'll also have the DIY link to where you can shop on my Amazon storefront for the different things that she used today, like the clips and the combs and the scissors, things like that. If you're not watching this live, and who knows, we might do another DIY together if we have enough curious minds out there. I'm going to be doing an Instagram live on Thursday in Pacific time. It'll be Thursday at 4:30. So if you want to tune into that, it's going to be called Off Topic. So we can chat about skincare or we can chat about anything you want, but just jump on there, grab yourself a cocktail or a mocktail, and we can just have fun. Just talk about anything. So I look forward to it, and subscribe if you like this, and please share it with your friends. All right, ciao.